Wow. I don't know what to make of that game. England Australia. I thought Australia were going to smash them after the first 10 minutes. They were just so quick, so powerful, uh, getting over the game line so easily, getting around the corner. It just looked so. Everything looked easy. England looked completely off the pace. But Foley missed his kicks. They should have been like 13-0 up or something before England even got into the other team's half. Uh, but then the entire game seemed to hinge on Bernard Foley's try being disallowed. Probably fair. And I think Australia never quite got their heads back in the game after that. Uh, because then there was the dodgy pass by Falau, which was then dropped, and that let Joseph in for the try. That turned the game around completely. And then the forwards started to completely lose up front. The scrum went to pieces. The maul was terrible. I think this is partly because Australia's forwards are not as powerful as England's at all. They are very technically well drilled, and I think as soon as you lose that little bit of mental concentration, not that there's any other type of concentration, they were incapable of keeping up, and England just started pulling away. Haskell was absolutely amazing. I've got massive doubts about that man, but he played an incredible game of rugby today. He just did what he does well, and you can argue about whether or not his skill sets is useful at international rugby. But when he does what he does well, to the extent he did today, it immeasurably helps his team. So yeah, well done, and everyone else is gonna have to eat humble pie. Out wide, England were effective. Like Anthony Watson is always going to finish tries, but I thought forward when he came on looked much more comfortable and helps out with the distribution a lot. I always think that I like Farrell very very good at the kicking and the tackling, but I just think England looks so much more comfortable with forward at 10 and Farrell at 12. I think he's a much better defender there, and that just helps out a lot. Australia start to come back into it, but it was too far. When you've got a goal kicker that's missing so many kicks and you're trying to come back from 13, 14, 15 points down, you're never going to make it back. So they just didn't have it in them. I thought Hooper was immense. I thought Falau showed touches of what he can do, but not enough. And the rest of the team just sort of let themselves. I don't think they let themselves down. That may be going too harsh, but once they lost their heads, England started scoring tries, and they couldn't match them. So yeah, there you go. It's going to be a great Test series now, though, because they're going to be angry, and Sydney is not a place to go to play against angry Australians. So I hope that the English players survive the tour, but this may be the peak rather than the start. Okay, bye bye.